Welcome back to Closing Bell. Some news just breaking on Kroger this afternoon. The grocery giant saying activist investor Icahn has submitted his intention to nominate 2 directors to the company's board. Kroger saying in a release that it first heard from Icahn on last Friday, and that Icahn has voiced his concerns regarding animal welfare and the use of gestation crates in pork production. Of course, Scott Wapner has been doing some reporting on the news. He joins me now. What do you know here about what Icahnn's up to?
So here's the letter that Icahn sent to Kroger, dated today. And he has 2 issues. Number one, he has issues with the CEO pay, which he says is unconscionable, sort of the spread between what the CEO makes and what the median worker makes. And then he takes issue with the same thing he's taking issue with at McDonald's, and that is pork. You mentioned these gestation crates. It's the same sort of issue. He says, I'm going to read a little portion from the letter here. The wage gap between the CEO and the median worker is unconscionable. Our candidates, he's nominated 2 people to the board, by the way. Our candidates will take our concerns about what he calls deplorable animal suffering in these wage gaps at Kroger seriously and add proper oversight. Our concerns regarding Kroger's governance go beyond animal suffering and other terrible practices taking place at industrialized factory farms that he says are supported by Kroger's patronage. I know when we first heard about this story, you're like, well, Kroger doesn't produce pigs.
Right.
Well, they do, they do support the farms where he has issue with the way that pigs are treated. He cites, as I said, the CEO pay package. Well, he says was $22.4 million in 2020. He calls it totally reprehensible that while you manage to personally profit from the extremely high margins caused by the pandemic, at the same time reneging on your hero bonus promise to frontline workers. Look, you know Kroger better than anybody. I don't know the company that well, so I don't know what they promised their workers and what they're not allegedly following through on.
So they promised a series of hero pay bonus bumps for frontline workers during COVID. This got a ton of attention at this time because they were the heroes, right, that were working throughout the crisis, as did a lot of the other grocery stores. But then the company came under fire for the profits that it was making and the CEO pay and all that. It's sort of largely moved past that. It's been raising wages for its employees. I find it interesting that Icahn is sort of an ESG investor now, because when it comes to CEO pay and then, going after animal conditions, that's like ESG grab bag.
Yeah, he sided with McDonald's in the conversation that we had on overtime, that his daughters work with the Humane Society, and that at this stage of his life, he was thinking about different issues, that he wasn't in that to make money. And from what I understand, this is an equally small position in Kroger's as well. So money is not the object here. I'll quote you another part from the letter. It says, "Not my goal to tell you how to run Kroger operationally, nor make money from my small investment and proxy campaign. I view it as my mission to make changes where I can by doing what I do best in areas that I consider to be glaring injustices." I think it's this stage, this late stage of his career. He's focusing in part because he's still very active as an activist that we all know. He's just focused on some different issues. Well,
Kroger has been a very well-performing stock. It's up 25%. It's one of the best-performing staples. So as far as agitating for board seats, proxy fight, that it might be more challenging. And the other thing I would ask, Scott, is what is McDonald's? They came out with a proxy statement yesterday, and I don't think there's been much traction by Mr. Icahn when it comes to calling for this. So the timing is interesting.
It's a small position that he has in McDonald's. There's only so much influence he can exert from a financial standpoint. And McDonald's, by the way, has pledged to make some changes as well. And Kroger's responding here, too. They said they first heard from Icahn, as I think you read, Friday, March 25th, and Icahn voiced his concerns. Then they obviously say that their practices are upstanding, et cetera. But, more to come.
Right.